Thank you, Gavin. Man.
John took it with him.
Probably up there. Okay, call the order we're gonna start the meeting for the Building and Planning Committees. And special meeting for the Board of Directors. It's 1 o'clock. And action item is the approval of the agenda. Anyone want to make a motion?
So moved. Just a second.
Thank you. And public comment, I don't see anybody on
Spencer.
Spencer. Yeah, but we're gonna pretend he's part of the committee. His comment says no now, but wait till the paper comes out. Then all the comments will be there. That's awesome. Approval of the minutes from the September 23rd meeting.
Vote on the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just moved right around. I got so excited. And is John on or no? Okay. So Ross,
I made the motion.
okay, so that's a guess. I don't have to take a complete vote since.
Oh, you're asking for a vote? Hi, yes.
Yes. Can I have a vote, please?
Yeah.
Fred, and you don't belong right there. I'm in a different spot, so I don't know where anybody's at.
Yes.
Jean's a yes, and I'm a yes. For the vote. Thank you, Ross. Approval of the minutes from the September 23rd meeting.
On motion. Oops. Sorry, I forgot to silence my phone.
That's okay. I just left mine in the car.
Silence mine too.
Thank you, Fred. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ross? Jean, your vote?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
I mean, yeah.
You're a yes?
Yes.
Ross is a yes. Okay,
They're all yes.
yes, yes. Okay, Bob, discussion,
Okay,
project update.
all right, so, so we're in the holding pattern on our grant, application. I have requested them to send me a copy of the actual application in case anybody wants to see all the stuff that's in that application. I haven't received that yet. We did lower the amount just a little bit. The numbers I have in here, I think got lowered. I thought that was the right numbers, but it had to do if they didn't, because this totals the 37 million of our original. And we did lower it by a couple of million to get it into a more approvable level. And but I had not gotten those numbers before I just went out a week ago. So so it's in there, still in that neighborhood in the amount. So they're still saying that all the applications have to be in by January 1st and they will review them. And then we should hopefully by end of month have some idea of whether it's going to proceed or that it's a no. And so it's just, we can see at this point. So,
Your
Can I ask you a
vote,
question?
yes.
At this point, I know you got a long way to go in your report. Can we proceed with the assumption that we're going to get the money in terms of preparing what we need to prepare to put it out to bid?
Yes, we can. And we're going to be discussing some things later that need action, that are drawings that need to be submitted by January 1st of 2026, assuming we're proceeding.
Okay.
So we'll discuss that when we get to those items. But
Okay.
yes, actually, we could actually put it out to bid.
That's something you could use to try to get on the ballot next, is it April or June?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about. Give me a hint.
Oh, a bond?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, well,
yeah, that's, you're headed straight in that direction.
Well, what I'm-
Obvious.
what I'm thinking, Jane, just so you don't think I'm playing games, is we've only got until April to get this thing rolling. If we're scrambling around the last minute after, January 30th or February 15th, we get notice that, hey, you're good to go. You've got the money. I want to be prepared to go.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, we certainly, I can certainly
Now-
put together a bid package and put it out to bid.
Yeah, I'd like to make a correction. There was something in the paper that Fred said. You said that the plan was all the money, the 40 million, whatever we were applying for, was for earthquake retro. Earthquake retro is about 5% of what we're applying. The most of it is remodel.
I will differ with that only from the standpoint of you're referring to the shear walls and the roof diaphragm.
Yeah, just
Okay,
whatever.
But we
it
can't
takes.
just do those because there's two categories of the seismic upgrade. There's structural performance category, which is what you're referring to,
Mhm.
which is the shear walls and the roof diaphragms. The other is the NPC upgrades, and the NPC upgrades are all the systems in the building that have to be upgraded so that they will withstand the earthquake. So that is the air conditioning systems. Currently, we're on old spring isolators that have no seismic restraints. And that's why during the earthquake that we had in Ridgecrest, one of our air handlers broke a water line on the roof because it was moving in excess of what it should be allowed to. So all the air handlers have to be seismically isolated and at the same time replaced. So all the water piping, every electrical panel has to be a seismically approved electric panel put into a new location and everything required for the entire building.
When did that wasn't part of the original,
Yes, it is.
side
Absolutely.
was the shear walls.
It's absolutely, the NPC has been there since day one.
So what's the cost for the actual?
Well, we don't have a breakdown between SPC and NPC, but the two of them combined are about 33 million construction work.
Jesus Christ. You know better than that. But at
Okay.
any rate, okay, it's.
Been the same story all along.
There is, yeah, I know
It
you
has.
guys are headed straight toward getting the public to pay for something we should be paying for because we're
Yep.
operating in.
We can have that debate another day, but I've never been that ever.
Okay,
Anyway, so we have escalated the cost of construction over the last 2.5 years because every year it goes up 6 to 8% on the cost of construction. That's why our number keeps climbing.
okay.
And, and we had it professionally costed. And we're using the same numbers with an escalation factor for each year. And it's SBC and NPC. And we can't do SBC and get by. We still wouldn't pass the requirements for SB 1953. Okay, any other questions on master or seismic project?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
No problem. All right. I'm going to skip new administration building because we are down to the last piece, which is the pharmacy, and it's actually item F. So we'll discuss it under item F and not duplicate. The emergency generator, I was on the phone with the contractor this morning. Getting this last little bit of bracing done is just getting ridiculous. They came in and replaced most of the work. They got to add the braces, but then they found that there was a brace in the boiler room that was missing. So now the plan's got to go back to Oshpod one more time. And it's just, I am just pulling my hair out on that one, but it'll get done. It's just, unfortunately, we can't just sign off that the project is 99% done. It's that 1% at the end that they've just, the engineering firm that they hired to draw the bracing was not tremendously competent. And they submitted several times and they got kicked back as not acceptable. And then we finally got it approved, and then they realized as they were finishing things that they had done the stuff in the chiller room, but they had not done the bracing in the boiler room where the piping goes through the boiler room. So it was sent off. Our area compliance officer was requested to just hold everything for us to get that last change done, and hopefully he can approve it in the field. Anyway, so we're getting there. It's just, I got to get those braces in, and so that the inspector of record will sign off and we can close the project. I mean, the project's done. Our saving grace is through this summer, we had that generator. Otherwise, we'd have shut down the hospital. So it's in and functioning. That's the important part. The couple of braces for seismic, it'll get done. I keep hounding them and they keep dropping the ball. One entity or another. Each time it's something else.
You know, Bob, I just want to make a statement that, I think I know a lot. And then I come to these meetings and listen about the buildings and the architecture and I know nothing except for that they always find one more thing. And I don't think it's just us. I think it's everywhere, you know. I listen to my husband, he runs heavy equipment and stuff and does roads, but without archaeologists and biologists and the little salamanders and the little trees and, I mean, jobs get completely shut down for days. And that's what they do to us. So they just kind of shut us down. But then we think it's human error. You know, you miss one little thing or something. So I just appreciate that you stick to it because
It's always something. So it's like, okay, so we had to replace the medical air compressor. That's not even on the agenda here, but just as an example. And we got it all done. And then we're getting ready to close the project. And it's like, well, the company that installed it is also my testing company that tests our medical gases. But they didn't test it because the people that were putting in the pump were mechanics. They were not the testing people. So now they got to send the guy back who's the testing person so we can go into surgery and say, yep, it's air coming out of the wall at the right percentages of the content of air, because this is a medical air compressor. So California is really good at just developing minutia to complete projects that fall under federal and state jurisdiction, like your husband.
Yeah, but he's retiring. You're gonna keep going for a while, but,
Well, it all depends.
well, this is one of those things that I'm
Yeah.
hoping, like with Gene, maybe AI could help with some of those things. I don't know that
You know,
it will, but
And I would love to have a contractor who is phenomenally competent, but we pretty much have to go with the low bid, you know, because usually our next bid up is so much more money. And even those people sometimes are not really savvy. And so even, you know, and architects, I mean, years ago, I used to submit plans and they would just get approved the first time, come back, approved. And so then so we're like we are now, we submit and get them back and we submit them and we get them back. And I thought, well, did we draw plans back better back then? So I went back and looked at those drawings. I go, oh, these would never pass today. You know, so the state is looking at them with much more of a minutia and a microscope and, you know, want every little thing detailed. And that's what we're dealing with right now is the detailing of how the brace needs to be on the conduit.
well,
Yes.
yeah, I don't envy you, but I do understand. Thank you for the knowledge that I'm getting because if I ever built a house, you know, people say, oh, if you build a house, you guys would do great. I'm like, we divorce.
A lot of people divorce over building a house.
I mean, I'm like, just, we'll buy something and be good because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So thank you for what you put into there. So,
Problem. Okay, so that's the emergency generator. We're gonna get there. It's working, it's working, thank goodness. But we'll get through the crossing the last T and dotting the last I here shortly. NPC seismic upgrade of dietary surgery and central buildings. Now, this is where, okay, so this is where we need to talk about what I was discussing when folks asked the question about proceeding with some things. Okay, so the NPC, this is the NPC 5 on the newer buildings. NPC 4 and 5 is dealt with in the old building with the seismic project. It's built in. But there's the NPC 5 that we've presented to HCI is basically bracing of sprinkler systems and solution of having, 4 days worth of water on hand. And John and I have discussed this because let's just say we get through all these processes, we get all these plans done and then, but we can't afford to move forward with the project. We really, really ought to carve that little piece out of the water, which is what we're going to talk about today. Because if we lose water in the summertime, in an hour and a half, I have no air conditioning. Short of bringing in trucks with pumps and pumping it up into the cooling tower, much less the water that people are drinking and flushing toilets with and all the other things. So as part of NPC 5, we have to have 96 hours of water on hand. And that's the majority of what these proposals are that you have in your packet, is the NPC 5 it's the new buildings, but it's also the site. Because in the new buildings, it's just the bracing of sprinklers. And for the site, it's water. Thank goodness when we did the generator project, we ran emergency power to our waste treatment plant. Because you have to handle both incoming water and your waste. There's hospitals that are putting in huge tanks to collect their waste during that 96 hours. And we don't want to go that route. Luckily, we have a full-blown waste treatment plant. And it is all working great, and it is now on the emergency generator, so we're good on that end. And we talked about putting a well in over here, and we've completely changed that concept, and I'm in full agreement. These proposals are actually to place a water tank over here. Tie the water system into the tank. The tank is full of water, and then there's a booster pump that boosts it to the hospital. And there's 96 hours worth of water there. And the advantage is it's less expensive than drilling a well. We don't have to deal with the county on drilling a well if they'll even let us do it. And then that well water has to be treated. And we have to show proof that we're treating it every month and documenting all of that. Whereas if we go with a tank, it's what's called a flow through. So the water goes into the tank and from the tank into the hospital. So that water is replenished continuously. So we don't have to treat it. It's less expensive, and I think it's a better way to go. I mean, it's a good sized tank. It's 20,000 gallons. It's about 18 feet in diameter and about 16 feet tall. But we'll have to excavate out the dirt a little bit and inset it there, and there'll be a permanent water tank there. And next to it, there'll be a small house that will house the pump to pump because we have to pressurize the water back up to 60 pounds to get it into the facility. So these proposals that you have, one is from Greenbow for the architectural, electrical, plumbing, et cetera, because they'll do the overall site plan. But then there's a fair amount of electric because we have to take power from our emergency generator across the street to run that pump. And then also plumbing wise, we have to bring water lines over, tee them and bring them to this water service and to this water service. And that way then that they will, and the advantage of this too is if we had a water outage with the other old plan, I would have to run out here and close the valves from the city and then open the valves from the well in both locations in order to have water. In this case, that's just our permanent flow through design.
We're just going to use the same water source we're using today.
We're just going to save a bunch of water on
from whatever the Mountain Mesa Water, whatever they're called.
Mesa Water, yeah.
Okay.
Kissick Water Company, yeah, it's got several names.
It'll be flowing through, so it's like it's not even sitting there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's safe water. Is it gonna be plastic?
The plastic tank, yes.
How long, what's the life expectancy?
They didn't tell me that, but I would guess it's at least 30 years.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say 30.
Yeah.
That's realistic.
Yeah, and they said that the ones that they have spec for other hospitals, they've all been plastic tanks. They don't recommend going with metal.
So we're not going to exceed our generator capacity by adding more load to it with this?
No, our generator right now, when we do a full load test, is running 33% load.
Okay, good.
We're in great shape.
We got lots of room. Okay.
Requirement have to be potable water?
It is potable water. It has to be potable water. That's why if we did a well, we would have to treat it to make it potable water.
to test it periodically.
And you gotta test it regularly, like, yeah, every month.
Well, what about aluminum? It holds Bud Light really good.
I'll check with Bud Light, see if they have any spare tanks.
Can you run beer through a chiller?
Yeah. All right, so what we have is I didn't write my numbers down, but we have one proposal from Greenbow that covers the architectural and the engineers. Then we have two other proposals. One is from RL Hardcastle for the bracing of the sprinklers, for them to draw the plans. Because interesting enough, architects and mechanical engineers and stuff don't draw their plans. Only sprinkler companies can draw sprinkler plans.
Okay.
And I think that's like, if I remember right, here it is, $8,400. Yeah. So the architectural is $22,410. And then I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong project. That's the next project.
That's on page 4.
Yeah. Too many projects. So, yeah, so the Greenbow one is a fixed fee of $33,295 with an allowance of $5,000 for structural and $10,000 for mechanical if they need it. Most of our projects, we have not needed the allowances. But anyway, so we're talking that Greenbow is $33,295. And then the fire sprinkler drawings is it's 11. Got two projects, so don't mind me. I got a little confused here. So it's 11,800. It's on page 53 for RLH to draw their portion. And then fortunately, the biggest cost to all of this. Okay. So when you build something on an empty site, you have to have a civil engineer. The civil engineer does the elevations and all that kind of stuff and samples the soil and determines what type of soil it is so the structural engineer can do the right design on footings and all those sorts of things. So we had used a company called McIntosh that did the whole site survey for the seismic project and the soil sampling. McIntosh, we contacted them and says, could you do this project? They said, we don't do water tanks. So what we did is we hit up all the other companies in Bakersfield. You want to use somebody local because they have to make multiple trips and we do not want to pay somebody from a long ways away. So we approached Meyer Engineering. They are booked until the spring of 2026 and can take no additional work. We approached D. Jaspin and Associates. They wouldn't do it. Greg Black, who we used in the past, he's been bought out by KSI Industries and they are not available to do the work. So we've approached pretty much all of the civil engineers in Bakersfield. And so the one that did say they could get the work done by January 1 of 2026 is Cornerstone Engineering. And I'm familiar with them. I have used them in the past, had relationships with them. And so I know in theory, we're supposed to put something like this out to bid. But we thought we could just use the company we've been using, but then they said, no. And so we had to scramble and we only got this nailed down a few days ago. I don't know if we got get in trouble with Scott, but
We may need to check with legal counsel about
yeah. So, but this is the only firm we can find that can do the project by January. And Cornerstone Engineering, they're a reputable firm. They're a little pricey. It's estimated at $54,050. So you got the $54,050, the $33,000. So you're at 80, 85 and the 11,000. So 95. So we're at about $100,000. Now, understand this is for NPC 5 for the full campus and the newer buildings. If we were not going to do any seismic project at all, I would still recommend doing the water tank because it just makes common sense. And the only thing we wouldn't do is the drawings for fire sprinklers, which is 11,800. So My recommendation is obviously we go with all three. It's a package deal with Greenbow. Greenbow was the one that approached Cornerstone and all the other firms and was trying to, because yeah, we had to get somebody quick. But you also have to understand that civil engineers never work for the architect. Ever. They work for the owner. So we would contract directly with Cornerstone. And there's legalities for that. And for instance, there was a project over on the coast where the civil engineer they hired made a mistake. And he said the soil was normal soil and it was expansive. Whole new wing of the hospital getting ready to start construction was stopped for 1.5 years because when you have expansive soil, now you got to redesign all the footings. If you redesign all the footings, you got to redesign all the structural. And so architects are not willing to take on the liability of a civil engineer that makes a mistake. And so the civil engineer always works directly to the owner. So just letting you know that Greenbow would take care of the rest of it, but the Cornerstone and RLH, we would pay direct.
If we're gonna do those direct, we have to take those back to the board and talk to Scott.
Understood. And if we don't make
Remember,
and if we don't make January 1, we don't make January 1.
But it's not part of the master plan.
It is
What
part
I'm
of the,
getting at-
it's part of the NPC 5, but that's why we have to ask Scott, can we legally just do this? I don't want to get us in trouble. We do need to pass the 5, but I just got these just a few days ago. Not had a chance to talk to
Could they
Scott.
put that tank underground with an open top? And we could use it for a swimming pool with,
He didn't have a hot tub. I'm sure anything's possible. Okay, so we will double check with Scott and have a discussion with him. And if it needs to come back, I mean, we could bless it today that these three are approved as long as Scott agrees, or that it will be,
well,
the two will be pulled aside.
you've checked with 3 or 4 different people, so the same as put it out to bid. They're,
No, I understand, but we don't want to get sideways with Scott.
yeah,
And so we do need to check with him.
Is this considered breaking ground on the seismic?
So obviously we can't put
Yeah.
shovels in the.
Well, yeah, we can't put shovel on ground till we know what we have. We just have to have the plans submitted
well,
to Oshpod by January 1.
but if this was separate, you could apply, there's lots of grants out there that
Yeah.
besides the big one you're going for,
Right.
maybe some of that stuff you could get money. for.
Yeah, let's just say we didn't do the seismic project. Done, but we still want to do that. It's very possible that we could go after one of the HCI grants or something that would maybe fund part of this work. It's just throwing that out there for what is.
I know I might be early. Can I make a motion that we approve everything exactly what he said, including the last one, if Scott approves it?
If, yeah, on the RLH and the Cornerstone with Scott's approval. Make sense? Is there? Okay, I'm good with that. I'm much better with proceeding with Scott's approval versus
Oh, yeah.
getting our hands slapped after the fact.
Yep.
So can we modify the motion that basically says, authorize the CEO to execute those contracts if the
Yeah,
council
yeah, that'd be
approves?
good. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, they're approved as through.
Once, if Scott says we're all good to go, then
Yeah, we're good.
Then you can,
John can-
Until he says.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
you know, and I hate to spend $100,000, but 90,000 of it is really doing the water tank, which I believe we should do no matter
it's, I
what.
think it's a good solution, Bob.
Yeah.
I do. I
Yeah,
think
because we've talked about that for,
a long
Long
time, and
time.
drilling wells over there, having to treat it.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing nightmare. Yeah,
It's a maintenance nightmare for
Yeah.
the rest of the life of the hospital.
yeah. I think this is a good solution. Thank you for bringing it.
Yeah.
So I'll second the motion.
As modified, yes. Okay.
Okay. All right.
let's Can we vote on that now?
Absolutely.
John vote? Okay,
Yeah,
Go on.
I just had a quick question. Are we voting on item H on the agenda for what Bob was talking about in the master update?
G and H, John.
No, it's just eight.
just eight.
Just a.
Just H. Okay,
And here's the
okay.
challenge. It actually falls under the project update, but yes, it's actually item H.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I was just a little confused at first, but yes, I will vote yes.
In line.
Yeah.
Okay, Fred,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Yes,
John's a yes, and I'm a yes. Okay,
Okay. All right. So the.
thank you.
Yes. You're right. The skilled nursing reclassification. Now that one is, sorry, I am got too many things going here. Okay, so, yes, that one is, okay. I wanted to just clarify with everybody that this has been a two-stage process. We did the initial study with a contract with the architect for $7,405. And they have billed us that $7,405. And then we voted and approved doing the completed drawings that HCI said we have to do to reclassify this skilled nursing for a cost of $24,600. And currently, Greenbow has invoiced us for $19,710, but that includes the $7,405. So they've invoiced us about $12,000 of the $24,000, and they're completing the plans to get those submitted to HCI to reclassify the SNF. And then, as I explained to you too in a previous meeting, there will be some construction work involved because we had seismic joints on the electrical, we had seismic joints on the fire sprinklers, but we lacked it on the heating and domestic heating, cooling lines and the domestic water. So there'll be a little bit of construction work, but once that's done, then the skilled nursing can be reclassified as a skilled nursing building with HCI so that we don't have to seismically upgrade it, which can't be done because it was never built to a hospital standard.
did the person that misclassified it, did we ever look into recovering some of our cost?
Good luck because of the amount of years spent. It's John knows the name of the company. It's
Aspen Street Architects, yeah.
long before my time here. They made the
The
mistake.
discovery, once we found out that he screwed up 20 years ago or 25 years ago, or 30.
Well, buildings is 10 years. And I know this because I was at I was manager of operations at a big hospital in LA. And we found in a remodel that the entire first floor of the entire main building had no fire dampers in it whatsoever. They'd been completely left out. And so we called in the contractor, we called in HCI, we had everybody there, and we had a nice long discussion. And the contractor says, we feel for you, but it has been 10 years and 3 months.
So like a statute of limitations or something?
So out the door they went.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And so we had an agreement with HCI that whenever we remodeled an area, we would add the fire dampers. All right. So that is the skilled nursing building reclassification.
We got no choice but to do it, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, because we're between a rock and a hard spot. We can't upgrade the building to be an acute care building because it was never built to be that. But we can't leave it as an acute care one building because then HCI is going to say, well, where's your upgrade? Well, we can't. Yeah. Catch 22
I'm
we're
going to
in.
make another motion that we do it, right? I mean.
Well, you've already approved drawing the plans.
Yeah,
But that's
So there's not-
extra money.
it's not an action.
It's not an action item.
Oh, it's not.
It's an update.
Okay.
That the plans are nearing completion because they billed us for 50%
It's an
of the
additional
plans.
amount of money, a lot.
It's 24,000 for the plans and I'm guessing offhand it's gonna be 20 or 30,000 for the work when we have to.
Okay, well, if
Yeah.
we don't need action.
Yeah, no action needed. Okay, so we've thrown in another project here just because we're getting bored.
Oh, gosh.
you know, at your folks' request of cleaning up the skilled nursing unit. And so we're calling it the skilled nursing unit cosmetic work. Because none of it requires a permit. It's just cosmetic stuff. So I had put together a list of what you have in your folder of what we are doing. And so a lot of, yeah.
It's on page 5.
Right there we go. Yeah, so we've completed the painting of the entrance doors and the door frames. We've painted all of the resident rooms door frames. Trimming around the murals and the corner guards. We've ordered them. It took me a few days because we were not set up. We've been buying from IPC company for years and years and years. All of our handrails are from IPC, all of our corner guards, but we've been paying regular price. And I found out that there's much better pricing through Premier. So we had to get set up with IPC as a Premier vendor through the old Adventist Health system that we are still on. Adventist Health has moved on to something else, but there's still like 800 hospitals across the United States that use Premier. Anyway, so that cut about 30% off the cost. So that's done, and I've ordered them, and they'll be shipping on November 12th from, unfortunately, Wisconsin. So, but it's like $400 shipping. So those will be arriving. We still have to do some touch up to paint and some scrubbable paint in some areas. Now we have replaced all of the floor tiles that were damaged, and we're in the process of waxing those right now, but we came up with, between several of us, a really great idea. You know, in acute care where we have all those patterns in the floor tile, we thought, you know, that would be a really good idea to make the acute look that way too. So we're going to actually place 9 patterns throughout the unit. And the patterns, since we're in a different color than the acute, will be done in a series of tans and browns. And so we're actually, tomorrow we'll probably be doing the first one just to see how it goes. And it actually takes out a whole bunch of the damaged tiles, and at the same time, it's going to make the unit look a lot nicer. And then we also have Bakersfield Flooring coming up, and they're going to replace all of the 6-inch code base. And so the floors are going to look, floors and the code base and corner guards will all be brand new.
Terrific.
So it's going to make it look a lot better. And then the nurse's station, I'm going to work on repairing chip laminate. Luckily, I have some of that laminate on hand, and I'll be doing those repairs myself as an old cabinet maker. I picked up a panel to put on the smoking door. That's number 9. We should get that on later this week. Item 10, we're holding off because it's going to be expensive, because to rip out the existing shower, move the wall over and all of that, that's an HCI project. So I've requested Michael to give us the cost to draw the plans, but yeah, I'm expecting that the plans will probably be $20,000, and tearing out the shower and redoing it's probably going to be another 50 or something. So that's a pricey item. Obviously, the shower has worked for 28 years, but it is a little cramped. And so down the road, we'll decide when I get the costs together, whether we proceed with that item 10. And then item 11 is just right behind the nurse's station. There's a stainless built-in sink with a refrigerator. The refrigerator's too small for the patient food. The sink is so small you can't even get your hands in to wash it. So we're simply going to take out the old stainless steel cabinet and put in modern laminate cabinets that are a little bigger and a proper hand wash sink. And I've detailed out the cabinets and I've sent it off to the cabinet maker. He didn't get the price to me by this morning, but he'll have it to me. The sink's like $1,200. The hands-free faucet's $1,019, and the tempering valve for the faucet's $198. And I just have the cost for the cabinets, and then we'll probably proceed with that so that it makes that so much more. And it's going to be a full-size refrigerator freezer so that they'll have more room for all the patient's food. And it's just a plug-and-play thing. It's not. It's really quite minor. It's just not inexpensive. It'll probably be in the neighborhood of
Does it
10
look like a
grand.
wine cooler too?
Well, and the staff asked, could they have a hot tub? We could probably-
Tab coming out of the.
Cake on top.
Yeah, they wanted a kegerator too.
More,
Anyway, but they're all jazzed because their unit is getting fixed up and it's gonna be nicer, so. And so that is.
that's probably gonna help with morale.
It is their home.
It is.
Yep, as well as the residents' home. So that is where we are at on the skilled nursing and cosmetic. I kind of breezed over on the admin building. I had hoped this week to assemble the workstations in the back of the new medical records area and maybe work on getting them moved and all this, well, between skilled nursing and the retail pharmacy, I can't make the time, but it'll happen here before long. And so the dietary cosmetic work's still on hold and acute care restrooms are, we gotta get out of the pharmacy. That's our highest priority. Yeah. All right, so that is, unless there's any questions, that's the project update. The Mesa Clinical Pharmacy though, like I said, I didn't really detail that. So drywall work's all done. All of that, all framing's done. Electrical relocations are done and the data's all pulled in and we are painting. And carpet arrived at Bakersfield Flooring today. And they have the carpet, the co-base and the sheet vinyl for the handicap restroom. And they're just waiting on me to be done. I want to have the messy work like the painting and that sort of stuff done. Don't want to do that over carpet. And so I'm hoping in a couple of weeks that we will be done with the messy work. And then we'll have them come in and do the carpet. And then it'll start looking pretty much done. So then we have the furniture to move in.
What's our estimated date of completion at this point? If we're a couple of weeks on just.
Yeah, I'm really trying to shoot for the end of November. And Heidi's working, we're getting ready to send off the,
We're trying to gauge it, but I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna call the 40 pharmacy again and just let them know where we're at and see what they suggest.
my hope is to have Board of Pharmacy approval and to have them moved in by the end of the year. That's the goal. And we've set a couple of weeks. Originally was shooting for November, but I've been waiting on stuff to arrive, that sort of thing.
And it's nice that retail has kind of settled down and gotten
Yeah,
into it.
they're not in panic mode there anymore. No. So that's the Mesa Clinical Pharmacy upgrade. So item F. You roll on into.
Yeah.
Okay, so G is our X-ray room is getting old. X-ray rooms last 10 to 15 years, and I think ours is 12 years old. And it's due to be replaced.
So aren't we replacing it when we rebuild the hospital?
The seismic project does not have us replacing the equipment as part of the seismic project.
But isn't it being relocated?
No, CT is being brought inside as part of the seismic project where respiratory currently
Okay,
is.
but the X-ray machine's gonna,
It's gonna stay right
remain
where
there.
it's at. Now, as part of the seismic project, we're making the area ADA accessible, which it currently is not. But Michael, our architect, has approached HCI and said, this is 100% an equipment replacement. Can we do it without bringing the whole area to current code for ADA and everything else? And they have said yes.
Okay.
So this cost proposal for item G is based upon not having to make the whole area ADA accessible. It is simply a replacement of equipment. So the X-ray project, to draw the plans, because you guys already approved the purchase of the equipment, as I understand it. So that's proposal in your file, Greenbow on, I believe, page 7. And it is, the architect is 22,410. Mechanical engineer is 3,200. Electrical engineer is 15,075. The reason it's so high is the majority of the work, putting in X-ray equipment, is electrical. All the cabling.
Is that through Greenbow or?
Yes, it's all, they're all through Greenbow.
Why are we still using them? Tim's not here anymore.
Because it'd be twice as expensive, if not more, to start with a new architect.
Okay, so I'll give you my 2 cents worth. I have been doing hospital projects, in the state of
We only
California,
have so much time. Give us
for 40 years.
give us a,
Yes, and so I have never worked with a more competent, inexpensive architect than Reed in 40 years. I was approached this week by an architectural firm out of San Francisco that said they'd like to do our work. I'm putting some feelers out to see, because you never know if you need a backup. So I'm putting some feelers out to see if they're any good. But if we were to switch architects, we have to put it out to bid. And we have to have,
The ADA compliant, is that in the seismic project master
Yes.
plan?
yes, it is.
So the cost is in there.
Yes.
Roughly what is the cost to put a couple doors in there?
Plus a little more than that. It's an ADA accessible dressing room. It's an ADA accessible restroom. So yeah, we're talking probably $100,000 to make it ADA accessible.
Christ.
You know, and you have to understand, we're a prevailing wage, government-owned entity. And
Could we
so,
move temporarily to like New Mexico or somewhere?
sure,
no,
Sure,
those
it's fine.
dressing rooms are a little small.
they are.
They
They're
get
tiny.
the curtains
Can I make a motion that we,
and not bend over.
the way he's presented it? There's not.
Works for me, because we can't put it in without permitting. The last time it was put in, it was done under emergency because the room died. And literally, I went back and looked at what was required by HCI to put it in, and it was very low. This is a little more because it's not currently dead. So, and we're not under emergent situation where we had no X-ray room.
Can you kill it?
What's that?
Can you kill it?
Can I- Well, luckily, they're giving us the same thing that we don't have to do anything to the area other than swap it out.
Just put it in.
The structural engineer is a little concerned about the anchorage of the unistruts to the structure above. And so I'm probably gonna have to cut some little bit of holes and take some pictures and send it to him. But other than that, I think we're good to go. Everything
The
lines
big
up.
question is, when you do the project, what's gonna be time for that room?
The downtime, I would say offhand will probably be a week.
So no,
So we have
let
portable,
everybody in the public.
we have portable
Yeah.
X-ray.
We have
Anything for this time period.
We
We
have
have
portable X-ray.
Oh, that's no fun.
We really don't want to bring in a portable X-ray trailer. That get really pricey. But if it was going to be down for a period of time, yes, we can rent a portable X-ray trailer. We have an electrical feed for it to plug into, and then you can operate that way. Same as RCT trailer.
So does the price that we purchase the equipment for include the installation?
Yes,
Okay, so this is just the design of it?
yes, this is to legally put it in.
Okay.
Everything else is
It's a
covered
nice
under our
machine,
CE price.
but man,
Okay, we have a motion from Jean. Anyone want a second?
Yes, I'll second.
John, your vote?
Yes.
Jean, your vote?
yes.
Fred, your vote? Ross?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, and H we already voted on because that was NPC 5 stuff.
Correct.
Okay. And so I is 2 invoices from Greenbow, and I'll just state it right here. I lied when we said we'd already paid Greenbow $12,000 on the, getting ready to pay them $12,000 on the SNF reclassification drawings.
Need a motion for that 12 size?
We had the 2 invoices, invoice 999 and invoice 1001. One's against the seismic retrofit for 8255. And the other one is for SNF reclassification for 12896.
Somebody gonna make a motion? Okay, I'll make a motion
I
to
don't-
accept the
Okay,
invoice.
didn't say, so I was kind of confused.
Invoices the way they are. Those two
Okay.
I'll second Jean's motion.
Jean and Ross team today. What the heck? Ross, your vote?
Yes.
And John, your vote?
Yes.
Fred,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes,
and I'm a yes.
I saw that, Ken.
But
When you look
yeah, I was like,
at Ross on the.
I said Ross that I was gonna start this way, but I thought if I don't say John, I'll forget him. Because his little mug's not up
I
there.
want you to think that you got away.
And then called me out on it.
with
Okay. Any other questions or discussions?
Now, I don't know if in here, I saw on our meeting thing for tomorrow, update Leho leases or anything different, any changes?
No, same, just gonna,
Okay, same,
we just need to approve the renewal. We just need to
Okay.
figure out if we want to buy the building else.
okay,
That's our next point.
Later.
That's later.
okay, I just,
They're willing to sell it to us in the middle of the lease, and then we could renew the lease still.
would everything being depressed the way it is right now, might be a good, I maybe try to negotiate and purchase.
We should, gonna be fair with this. It should be fair with this, whatever the appraisal issue itself is.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, if there's no other question, oh, Ross, yeah.
No, I was just mimicking you.
Oh. No, last year it was this way.
Aye,
Aye, aye.
No, please adjourn.
And the meeting is adjourned at 1, is that 51?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thanks, everybody.